No, you mentioned at the beginning, considering the long-standing male dominance in film and TV, you described your own experience breaking into the industry and how unique in many ways a female director was and trying to get budgets approved and the Irish Film Board. How have you seen it change over the course of your career, particularly in terms of that gender dynamic?
In terms of sex, I think that it has improved. I think that there's still a very long way to go. And I think that when it comes to financiers, ultimately it's a qualitative assessment that they make. And we are all subject to unconscious bias. And so making qualitative assessments will automatically trigger unconscious bias. So that's something that I think we all have to be aware of. I think there has been a moment, certainly with respect to Me Too and all of those things that happened in 2016, 2018, where there was a spotlight on this area. Spotlight's moving on. It depends what happens in the next few years, whether we get any serious movement or not. Certainly what we're speaking as Cannes is getting underway. And it's very interesting that the chair of the Cannes jury this year is a woman. It's also very interesting that she's a woman that made the most money in Hollywood last year. That's obviously a great step forward, and particularly for Cannes, which has been seen as a bastion of the canon and the notion of the great auteur. So including more women in that world is really beneficial. What I'd like to get to is a point where we don't have to think about this anymore. I think it's Nora Ephron who said, I really don't want to have to be on another film committee about women in film. And what she's saying is not that I'm bored of being on film committees, but we still are in trouble here that I still have to be dragged into those conversations. I think there are other filmmakers Catherine Bigelow is another one who said something similar. Both great feminists. And I think what they're articulating is that there is a kind of ghettoizing that still happens because it still feels so new. So it remains to be seen whether that industry, whether the film and television industry will be able to overcome those issues, because they are issues of qualitative assessment. I think in my business, still, once you get over a financial budget of more than $5 million per hour, the number of women directing drops to 5%. So there is still a qualitative assessment goes on as to who can we trust with $100 million. And that's the issue, I think, when it comes to companies as well, when it comes to women on boards, women in senior executive positions. We're still looking at that qualitative assessment, which is still informed by unconscious bias. These are good people, good men and women who want to do the best by everybody. It's in us. And the whole point, the clue is in the name. It is unconscious, the bias. And so we say, yes, I'm in favour of women joining the board. Yes, I'm in favour of female CEOs. Just not this woman because X, Y, Z. And there's your unconscious bias coming out. It's very, very difficult to tackle because everybody has their reasons and there's always a good reason not to hire a woman.